did a bad thing. I asked her how much time I had. She said, as much time as you need. She obviously don't know me. But it's good to be with you, and that's probably the last humorous thing I'm going to say. Because it is rare for me to be overwhelmed. I've been in some real tough places. I've visited the concentration camp in Poland. I've been over to the 16th Street Church in Birmingham where 3 little girls were killed in 1963. And then, so I've been in places, some real bad places. So when I come to this event, I'll be honest with you, I feel overwhelmed. Because, you know, sometimes we don't want to remember. Sometimes we don't want to remember the evil in the world. But we have an obligation to remember and never to forget. We have an obligation to those who have come before us, who have suffered, so that their passing will be redemptive. So their lives will mean something. And we have an obligation to remember to those people who will come after us, to make sure that they, never forget. So this is a very difficult time for me to stand before you. But at the same time, I realize that we remember in order to fight on. We remember in order to strategize. We remember in order to act. And we have an obligation to act. The previous speaker talked about hate crimes law that passed in Washington, and we're glad it passed, are we not?
Yes.
We're glad it passed. Good piece of legislation. But let me tell you this right now, right here. That does not absolve Georgia from doing the right thing. Amen. That does not absolve our home state, the place where we live, the place where we work and recreate. It does not absolve this state from doing the right thing and passing a hate crimes law, a homegrown hate crimes law. And I can hear the debate at the state capitol next year. And I want you to remember this, because if it doesn't happen this way, I'm going to buy y'all dinner. Jeff, you'll help me, won't you, baby? Jeff Graham, it's good to see you, baby.
I'm writing the names.
But the fact, I can hear the debate right now. The debate is going to be, well, they took care of that in Washington. They took care of it in D.C. We don't need to deal with it here now. And we're going to tell them, oh no. I know what the response is going to be. We're going to say, oh no. We have a moral obligation to do the right thing here in Georgia. And I need you to be with me. You know, when we get this going, you all need to come down to the state capitol. And y'all, are there any other elected officials here? Okay, Claire Muller is here. Any candidates here? I'm going to put you on the spot. Whether you get elected or not, come on down to the state capitol with us. Come on down and be with us when the debate starts. Come down and be with us when the rally starts. You know, it's easy to come down here now and celebrate each other and talk to each other, but come down to the state capitol and you really know what a fight is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You've been down to the state capitol, you know what kind of place it is. So we have a responsibility to act at the state capitol. And, you know, people will say, and it's not wrong to say, that before we can change laws, but we have to change people. But the fact of the matter is that our laws tell us what kind of people we are. Our laws reflect who we are. Down deep, you can talk about who you are. But when we read your laws, what's in them and what ain't in them, we know who you are. When we read a budget, that doesn't include enough money for HIV/AIDS.
Oh, Lord.
Or we see a budget that cuts it. Don't tell me you for folk, because we see what you're about. So laws, hate crimes laws and other laws tell us who we are, deep down. Ain't no camouflaging it. So laws are important because they tell something about the people who make them. And it's particularly important for the transgender community that we pass a hate crimes law here in Georgia. Because we know certain things. I don't have to tell most of you. Hate crimes against transgender people are more heinous, more violent, and more oftentimes result in what? Death. And that's one reason when I started thinking about the Transgender Day of Remembrance, I started thinking about that. You got to do the kind of thing that's done to transgendered folk, you got to be full of something deep down hateful. And that's why we need a hate crimes law here in Georgia more now than ever. And that's why I've dedicated, that was my first legislative fight in 2000. I spent the last 10 years of my life, almost 24/7, dealing with that hate crimes law. So, but I ain't no ways tired. I may be overwhelmed at this moment, but you know I like a good fight. You know what Reverend John said in Montgomery? He said, if you see a good fight, you can do one of two things: run to it or run from it. I run to it. And this is a fight that I'm looking forward to running to. But we stand here in remembrance of all those who have come before us, who've been the victim of hate crimes, who've been pressured into suicide because of the ostracization, being ostracized. We stand here for all those people. We stand in love for them. We will never forget. We will always remember. But not only remember, we will act, we will stand up, speak out, fight until we win. Until we have a hate crimes law here in Georgia, until we change the hateful attitudes here in Georgia, until we do the right thing in this state. So I'm glad to be with you tonight. I'm absolutely honored and blessed to be asked to come speak before you. You do me a great honor. I was late, but you know I'm always coming. I'm always there. Ain't that right? Def Grab though. Def Grab, he my jail going buddy. We gone to jail together in civil disobedience. So every time I see him, I'm just so glad and so happy to see him. So call on me. If there's anything I can ever do, please do call on me. I'm with you. Whenever there's a time you need me, I'm there for you. So God bless you and thank you for everything you do.